everyone, welcome back to Chat with Nat, a talk show where we interview Sacred Heart University students and faculty about the day in the life in our own Martyr Studios. Today with me I have Franco Micheo, who is a graduate student and a producer of CT Sports Now. Franco, thank you for being here.
You're welcome. I'm very happy to be here.
That's awesome. So I have to ask you, tell me about the day in the life of a CT Sports Now producer.
So a day in the life. So it's weird because it's one of those things. As soon as you wake up, you're kind of on call. So you have to be kind of you're not necessarily doing something at all times, but you have to be alert at all times.
Got it.
So I wake up and the first thing I do is I disperse everyone's like assignments. So I text or call all of the field producers or student reporters what they're going to be shooting that day or what they're going to be reporting on that day.
Okay.
And then after that, I have to worry about the rundown. I would say it's my main assignment before actually coming here to work. And so the rundown is kind of you structure that day's show. So what's the lead? What are the most important stories? How do we want to like what sequence do we want for the show and like what order? So I would say that takes up about like an hour and a half of my time. I usually do it right after lunch. And then after that, it's just kind of things are very fluid whenever you're hosting a nightly show. So things change, games get canceled, coaches bail on you, coaches come out of the woodworks that say they want to come in. So you kind of always have to be flexible and on call pretty much to kind of change things on the fly. And then after that, I usually get here around 4 or 5 o'clock. Then from then on, it's just whatever that day entails. It might be, we might have a guest that's coming in early, so we have to shoot that segment a little bit earlier. I might have to edit some stuff, record a game, and then edit it, or it's whatever I need for that day.
And then what's it like being on the show itself? Because it's a live show that's produced here at Sacred Heart University. What's that like?
Honestly, for me, once the show goes live, that's when I feel like that's the easiest part for me, because that's when the director and the control room more so take over. Because for producing, it's more so a job prior to the show.
Okay.
So once the show starts, whatever I produce before the show, the director is now kind of has it in her hands in this case. And she is the one in charge of that vision or executing that night's show. So I just kind of sit there and I communicate with the talent, just kind of let them know if anything's changing, if anything's out of order, if we're coming out of commercial early, if we're coming back. So I'm kind of like I'm their eyes and ears and just kind of letting them know everything that's going on.
Great. So what's it like, I guess, producing a live show that you've never done before?
It's exciting. It's actually exciting because it's one of those things at 10:30 it's going to go live. So you can't pause it. You can't say give me 5 more minutes. At 10:30, whatever you have in the server, whatever you've edited, if games haven't come in, you have to make the adjustments, but at 10:30 you're live. So it's like an adrenaline rush because pretty much every night at 10:20 we have stuff missing, everything's kind of going a little bit crazy. So you always get that sense of, oh, tonight's the night where everything's just going to hell. But as of right now, we've done over 100 shows, and it's worked out, I would say, the vast majority of the time.
So how does someone, I guess, all the way from Florida and then just come up all the way to Sacred Heart? How did you find that?
It's weird. It's one of those things. It's kind of like ripping a Band-Aid. It just kind of happens. One day you're in Florida. Because for me, the decision just kind of was spur of the moment. It was one of those things. I was unhappy with my work back where I was, and I wanted to try something new. I always loved sports, so I wanted to get into just the sports world in whatever capacity I could have.
Right.
And then I just found Sacred Heart one day on Google, like in July, and then in August I was here. So it just I got on my car and drove. It just kind of happened.
Wow. So it was kind of just like a spur of the moment thing?
Pretty much, yeah. So it's like one day I woke up and I was in Fairfield, Connecticut. And I just
just like that?
Yeah, pretty much.
So was it something where you saw the program, or it was just kind of like an ad? How did that?
So I actually, it wasn't like today I'm in Florida and tomorrow I'm in Connecticut. It took at least like a month and I had to apply. So yes, I found the program because initially I was debating whether to go into more sports business or the sports media. And then I kind of saw the program, saw the curriculum, called here and all the professors and the faculty. And it just kind of seemed like a good fit, like a small school, somewhere where I could kind of be of more importance than I went to Penn State for undergrad. And there you're more so like a number.
Okay.
So here it seemed like a little bit more personalized attention. So it caught my eye. It caught my eye for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. How was your undergrad at Penn State? What did you study?
Criminology.
Oh wow! So just a totally different
I've been all over.
ball game.
Yeah, whatever you want. I've been all
Oh
over.
my goodness. So then what kind of drew your attention to sports broadcasting and sports business and that?
All right, so pretty much all my life, like I said, sports has been my main interest. It's my hobby. Just in terms of visual pleasure, whatever you see on TV, that for me that's sports.
Right.
But it's one of those things where you're sitting there as a kid watching TV. It's like you're kind of seeing people there on the monitor, but you don't know how to get there to the other side. Like there's no business, law school, medical. There's most of like a clear path.
Right.
Where people you go to high school, you do your undergrad, and then you go to medical school, and there's like it's laid out for you. For sports media, being from Puerto Rico, I had no earthly idea. It was just one of those things where, and then I just kind of never pursued it because it just kind of seemed out of the realm of possibility.
Right.
So I just did law. People, your grandmother always at the family reunion tells you, "You'd be such a great lawyer." And then you drink the Kool-Aid, and then you go to law school, and then before you know it, you're kind of unhappy. And then I just did my research and arrived here.
Wow. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, props to you for kind of just taking that leap and deciding like, hey, I don't want to do this anymore, and I'm going to change the way that my life is.
Yeah.
You did say though you're from Puerto Rico.
I am.
So then how did, I guess you've been jumping all over the place, I guess. Like,
Yeah,
how did you go?
but as I talk, I'm kind of you're kind of Penn State, Puerto Rico. I'm just kind of throwing all these bombs out there. Yeah.
Well, how did you like from Puerto Rico, I guess, to where did you live first? Like, how did that happen?
All right, so I guess if you want the chronology, if that's even
guess,
a word.
yeah.
So 18 years in Puerto Rico. That's where I was born and raised. Went to high school. All my friends, my family, that's all Puerto Rico. Whenever I say I go back home to Puerto Rico. But then I moved to, I guess, Pennsylvania for 4 years for my undergrad, and then I came back home to Puerto Rico for law school. I did a semester.
Okay. Wow.
But I stayed a year.
Okay.
And then I moved to Miami for 8 months, and then from Miami, now I arrived here in Connecticut.
Holy moly. That's incredible. I mean, I just kind of grew up and lived in the same place for 18 years.
It's been crazy because it's been kind of everything, all those like move has been in the last like 2 years. Before that, it was pretty stable. It was either Puerto Rico or Penn State, and then you go back and forth and back. But over the last couple of years, it's been just kind of like a soul searching type of ordeal.
Do you think you found your place here?
I think I did. I mean,
That's
I've lasted here
awesome.
for what? I've been here since August. It's almost April.
It's almost April, yep.
So almost 8 months. So I guess if I don't like it, I usually figure it out before 8 months. If I don't, I just I'm kind of stuck here, I guess. No, but I do love it. I do love it.
That's great. So do you plan on staying with CT Sports now? Like while you're here, are you looking for a job? Like what are your plans?
Yeah. So for the moment, when I got accepted, is when I was made aware of CT Sports Now through the graduate assistantship program.
Got it.
And so when I signed on to do CT Sports Now, I signed on for 2 years. So I have to study part-time in order to work full-time.
Right.
So that's for 2 years at the very least that my program runs through. And then after that, I have no commitment to them. So it's one of those things that depends on. CT Sports Now is so young in the Vantage Sports Network that it's literally no telling in where it's going to be in a year and a half, I guess, from now.
Okay.
So it all depends on where I am, where they are, and just what kind of happens down the road. And in regards to a job, it's something I'm exploring. I kind of want to work on my own personal platform. That's something I'm really interested in. Maybe I'm trying stuff out. Maybe write a little. Maybe do some podcasts. Just some other stuff to try to find my voice and try to figure out what I like and what I dislike.
That's awesome. So, you think you'll stay in Connecticut, or do you think you're gonna move again? Like,
Ideally, I would like to go somewhere a little bit more tropical. I don't know. It's
too cold here.
It sounds super weird, but I've always had this nightmare where I wake up one day and I'm like 35, and I'm coming down to the kitchen and I have like 3 English-speaking American children. It sounds super weird. Like all of a sudden living in the middle of a Connecticut suburb.
Right.
My children don't know Spanish. Where I like 10 years ago I was growing up in a mainly Spanish-speaking country.
Yeah.
It's like a super weird thing. So I would kind of like to move either to California or maybe to, I don't know if South Florida necessarily, but somewhere more so with like the island vibes.
So you're all about the warm weather, like, guys, since living in Miami?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the warm weather, it's one of those things when you say you're from Puerto Rico, people automatically jump to, the weather must be so nice, and but it can get warm on the extreme side. Like it can be, you can wake up and it be 95 degrees and you get out of the shower and you're immediately sweating.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
that sounds extreme.
But yes, I'm all about the warm weather, I guess, to make a long story short.
Well, Franco, I want to thank you again for being on our show. Your story is just incredible. I mean, I'm kind of jealous that you get to travel all over the place because I've only been to 2 places. But I also hope that you do get to move somewhere tropical because
I hope so too.
And then also achieve whatever you want to do in the next couple of years.
Thank you.
So,
I wish the same for you.
Thank you
You'll do
very
great.
much. Tune in next week to chat with Nat. Thanks for watching.